President Trump just signed a new executive order, and it could be the biggest news for gamers who haven't heard yet. Games are being censored, not by Steam though,
That's right.
but by the banks that handle the money. This new executive order is the first legal step in stopping this. Recently, if you haven't heard, some games were removed from the Steam store, but
That's
this
right.
wasn't because of a bug or a developer's choice. Instead, it happened because a big payment company like Mastercard decided that a few games were a reputational risk. This is a
What did I say before, boys? I said the only way you're gonna solve this problem, the only way, is if legislation or the government gets involved. Now, doing the fight back against collective shout is a start. But to keep this from happening in the future for companies that genuinely don't give a fuck, you gotta get it moved through your government. Japan, talk to your government. Demand them to fix this with Visa and Mastercard.
A company like Steam to remove any games they don't like. As a result, the banks that handle the money for Steam got involved, creating a chain of pressure.
They create the chain. They don't do it directly. They do it through middlemen so they can avoid being directly accountable. Will he also allow gamer words to be used again? His final executive order at the end of his term will be legally mandating the allowance of the F word again. You're going to be able to call your friends the F word, and you're going to be able to call anybody the F word.
To the games actually being removed.
He's not talking about fuck.
This is a big deal because it shows that a third-party company that handles the money, not the government or Steam itself, is now deciding what we can and can't buy. This kind of power is a form of digital censorship, and is especially concerning since a new rule was
it isn't just a form, it is the entire thing. Right now, this is our biggest problem. If we can knock this out, then we're good.
Added to Steam's guidelines that gives them the power to remove content that may violate the...
See how this isn't illegal. I mean, having a bank account is necessary in today's day and age.
It is. Most jobs do direct deposits now. I think it might even be illegal in some states to get paid by cash. Is it illegal to get paid cash for a job? For a job, according to Fit Small Business. However, it's crucial that both the employee and employer and employee understand and adhere to the legal requirements and reporting obligations associated with cash. It's not necessarily because you could be hiding stuff. It's because you have to pay taxes on the money.
How the fuck can you just take away somebody's bank account?
Yeah. Like, you can't just take away someone's bank account because of their age or their height requirement or their gender or ethnicity. You can't do that. So why is the gaming space allowing this?
Like, I mean, really?
To happen in games?
That's like taking away a person's internet.
If it's not illegal, it shouldn't be censored or banned.
Or somebody's water or something like that. They do it via terms of service. It should be, having a bank account should be viewed as a utility in the same way that water or internet is a utility.
Yep.
That's really what I think.
I agree.
For reasons that aren't actually about money. The censorship we're seeing on platforms like Steam is very similar to how banks debank people. The payment processors are essentially saying, if you don't remove this content, we will stop doing business with you, which means you can't get paid. This is a direct financial threat. It's what itch.io stated when they said they had...
like banking is... I mean, there's no universe where you can imagine that banking is not an essential service.
It is. It absolutely is.
In the year 2025.
You have to have banking. Anytime, even to cash a check. It's a necessity. Like, you have to have a bank. You have to.
It is an essential service, and it needs to be guaranteed for everybody.
I agree. Absolutely.
to act
That's it.
urgently to protect the platform's
way it needs
core
to be.
payment infrastructure.
Everybody
And also when
knows it.
Valve said if they didn't remove the games, it would prevent customers from buying games and content across Steam.
That's
The
right.
White House announcement calls this politicized or unlawful debanking and highlights how some financial institutions have restricted access.
The person making this video is making a slight correlation error, even though in effect they're right. Trump is mainly doing this to avoid, like Nick Fuentes is the best example of this, right? Wow, what a surprise that Nick Fuentes can't get a bank account. Who could have guessed? But he should be able to get a bank account. He can
He's also on a no-fly list.
get an internet subscription. He can get water. He can get electricity. He should be able to get a bank account, even if the people at the banks don't like him. Because
I
he's
agree.
a gay Nazi? Well, what's the logic that a gay Nazi can use the internet, but they can't have a bank account?
I agree.
Well, I feel like you should either be
Just
able
because you don't like it doesn't mean he's not spitting the truth. You got to take your emotions out of it and think logically.
to... Okay, so it should be either be both or neither, right?
Stores and even anime stores. The White House announcement
thing's
points to
long
other
gone.
examples as well,
It's been
such
going
as
on for a
when
long
federal regulators suggested banks flag individuals who made transactions related to companies like Cabela's and Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah, and
What the
again, like this is you read this state capital federal government suggested institutions flag individuals. Like in my opinion, I think that what they need to do. This is what I would do if I was in the federal government. I would figure out who was the one that actually made this suggestion, and then I would charge them for voter intimidation, political intimidation, or something like that.
Ooh,
Political
it's a hefty
prosecution.
charge.
That's what I would do. Like one thing, like if I ever became president, my big in our darkest hour, when our anime cat girl in okay, you know, like those
That undermine free expression and
So individuals, their business, and their families have been subject
economic
to
opportunity.
debanking.
This new rule
Oh.
tells federal groups that watch over banks
Oh.
to stop using vague reasons like reputational risk in their guidance and manuals.
Oh, get fucked, losers!
Oh, he just puts this in.
Hell yeah!
He just goes and says it. You know what they've got to do though? We've got to see if Nick Fuentes can make a fucking account.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he can't make an account, they're not.
Removing reputation risk and or unlawful debanking. That is crazy. Section 4, removing reputation risk and politicized or unlawful debanking. That is crazy good.
Following the law.
I wonder if this will work for the credit debit card industry as well. It must.
That's what I think.
In this order, each appropriate federal banking regulator shall, to the greatest extent permitted by law, remove the use of reputation risk or equivalent concepts that could result in politicized or unlawful debanking, as well as any other considerations that could be used to engage in such debanking from their guidance documents. So they got to remove that shit completely. Oh, get fucked, losers.
Yep.
That's what you fucking get.
Yep, they've got 6 months.
So they have 6 months to fix this shit. Good.
I don't understand.
Fuck 'em.
Does this executive order mean that payment processors can't threaten online stores anymore? So if you look at this right here...
So what you could do is a place like Steam, you could probably just add your account directly, your bank account, and then bypass the payment processors altogether. That's what I would say that Steam and itch.io should do. As long as their security is really well done, they should have no problems with this whatsoever.
Move the use of
They could even use a third-party site that's directly from the U.S. government to do online transactions through a government page.
Risk. So basically what he did is that he went after banks for removing conservatives. But what he did is that he did it in an overarching way and in a way that is so categorical that it will affect also Steam and other payment processors as well.
Nice.
So, and this is from the White House. I'll read this right here. Removing reputation risk. Within 180 days of the date of this order, each appropriate federal banking regulator shall, to the greatest extent permitted by law, remove the use of reputational risk or equivalent concepts that could result in... Like, this isn't just about conservatives.
This is...
He actually saved gamers.
He did.
Straight up. They don't define...
It means that you can't threaten.
Exactly. That means that it means whatever the fuck they want it to mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we need to debank to save our democracy. Yes, the most important thing to save democracy is to prevent people from being able to vote. And so anyway, what if a company is a foreign one? Will that work on foreign companies? Absolutely. Because if a company wants to do business in the United States, it has to adhere to United States laws it's dealing with United States citizens. And if it doesn't do that, then it has a problem. Mm-hmm. That's the way it works. I mean, and that's the way it should work, by the way.
That's the way it should have always worked. The fact that these payment processors can just do this is just crazy. How we don't have regulation in place to prevent this is mind-blowing to me.
If you want to do business in a country, you have to follow the country's laws. Duh. Of course.
Yep.
I think Trump watches your stream. I don't know.
I hope he does.
I mean,
good content.
I'm happy.
The ultimate goal of this order, as stated by that could result in politicized or unlawful debanking. From now on, banks must make their decisions based on clear financial reasons. The order also directs
and it means that you have to have a paper trail that you're doing something illegal.
Banking regulators to review banks for any past or current policies.
Let's be honest here. You can't not give somebody a bank account. You can't debank somebody because you think that what they're doing, it could ruin your reputation. Motherfucker, you a bank. Your reputation's fine. No one cares. Stop.
That encourage politicized or unlawful debanking and to take action, including charging a fine. The ultimate goal of this order, as stated by the White House, is to ensure that no American should be denied access to financial services because of their beliefs, affiliations,
or political views.
This is
huge.
That's a beliefs or affiliations. If someone believes in incest, that is your right as an American.
It is. And even though it's weird, but you don't want somebody telling you what your morals are. That's your right as an American to think whatever your morals are right. Unless you seek to have them changed, then you shouldn't have somebody force their morals onto you.
That's right. If you believe in incest anime games being used as a tool to inhibit...
This is a perfect example of a vague reputational risk clause. Mastercard didn't have to prove the games were illegal, just that
how's it going, Chad? What do you mean you're not doing good?
They were a risk to their brand. This was in response to a small number of complaints from the activist group Collectiveshout. The acquiring banks, fearing that they would lose their partnership with a major payment network, then pressured Valve to remove the games. Valve complied, which is why they weren't fully debanked. So the executive order aims to stop this by forcing financial institutions to justify their decisions based on individual, objective, and risk-based analysis. The key difference is simple. Risk-based analysis is about measurable financial threats. Reputational risk is about feelings and public opinion. The new
the new executive order gets rid of reputational risk based on how you feel. So you're going to have to suck it up, and you're going to have to do what your job is, which is to put the fries in the fucking bag, if that's your job. No one cares about your feelings at work, man. Do your fucking job. Enough of this shit. Enough of this shit. Enough of these fucking jobs catering to these fucking feelings. Do your job. You're there to do a job. You're paid to do a job. You're not there to think about your feelings. Like, fuck off.
Yep. Hoes mad. Complete Karen annihilation. I've been waiting on this for a while.
Ooh, heard a crack. Oof.
Executive order is designed to stop financial companies from using the second one as an excuse to shut down legal businesses. This could protect game developers from being unfairly censored. So what can we expect now? While this executive order is a major step, it has its limitations. Some might argue that it doesn't mean much because it can't directly regulate companies like Mastercard or Visa. However, the executive
just do another one.
Mm-hmm. Just do another rule.
If they think they're going to get around it, just do another one.
Mm-hmm. Law's a piece of paper. Just make another law.
Yes, make another rule.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah, the thing is that, it gives them an out too. Exactly. And
Sky's the limit.
It's so easy. Like, everybody's like, oh, well, what if they try to get around it?
Well, then make another law.
Yeah, he's incorrect about reputational risk. I have experience in compliance for a financial institution. Reputational risk is quite complicated, but not really hard to do analysis and state as fact.
Well, it doesn't really matter because it has to have financial reason now. So it doesn't really matter. That's what this thing says. It says that they can't debank you for how they feel like it could hurt their reputation. That's not. It has to. They have to have proof that this will ruin their reputation. They have to have
Say it's some other group of clowns that is doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. Of course they do. They have to. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Of course,
you probably are cooked.
100% they would. Yeah, I mean, again, like, you know.
I mean, in all honesty, all of us are cooked. We're all done.
If you've done anything illegal, like there's a level of trust
that living in a rich man's world, man.
Exist on, and the level of trust that you have to exist on whenever you're doing shit that's illegal, 3 or 4 levels high. Obviously, that's what's going on here. Debanked. I mean, being threatened to be debanked is the same thing as debanking somebody.
It is.
Like, I mean, functionally it is. They're saying, I'm going to shoot you unless you do something. Like, that's not really that much different than shooting somebody.
It is.
And a massive financial threat. This is the exact thing this executive order is trying to stop. Looking forward, though, this executive order could pave the way for more changes. We could see new legislation like the Fair Access to Banking Act gain momentum in Congress. This act, which has seen bipartisan support, aims to prevent banks from using subjective, non-financial standards when deciding who to do business with.
Yep. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
I can't believe we're actually having a Gamers Rise Up moment. It's actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
Law would have way more power than an executive order. It could directly and legally stop.
He's right about this, is that you need to make something like this a law. An executive order is like a Band-Aid.
It is. But hopefully it comes into law.